transition for you from the trade to now? Just how's that been?
It's been good. I mean, everything on this end has been great. Everybody's welcomed me with open arms and just trying everything they can to get me acclimated, and medical staff doing everything in their power to get me back to being full strength. And but it's been definitely an adjustment. Just moving around is my first time being traded this season, and obviously I didn't anticipate it being this hard. Obviously, you add on top of the injuries and just trying to get back and get acclimated with new guys and find your rhythm, find where you fit. It's been not the easiest, but in terms of just being welcomed, they've done a great job there.
Your hoodie says "Don't quit your daydream." Not to get super reflective, but what would you describe basketball as? What it means to you?
It means everything to me. Obviously, it affects my mood on a daily, and sometimes probably a little bit too much. Just how the season ended, and I look at it, just how I approach, my game and my preparation. That's how I approach things daily. And when you come up short on things like we did last night, it definitely affects you and makes you think about. It's tough to sit with for a little bit, especially when you turn on TV and guys are still playing, still out there having fun and still have an opportunity to be the last team standing. I think that's the ultimate goal for a lot of us. And falling short this early is definitely a little unsettling, and nobody likes to have once you get past a certain point, nobody likes to have an early summer. So a long summer, I'd say. So the goal is to get back and prepare to get ourselves back playing, to still be playing in June.
On that vein, what will your offseason priority be?
Getting healthy, and also just getting acclimated to the guys around me. You know what I mean? Just seeing where I fit, and seeing how I fit. Just getting myself comfortable and situated. I haven't, felt myself, pretty much all year, just due to, my real first time dealing with stuff that has, just set me back a little bit. But we've done a great job, just getting me back day by day, and that's why I wish we would continue still playing, because I felt like I was finally starting to kind of find my footing a little bit, but definitely a lot later than I anticipated. But you learn from it, and like you said, just going into the summer, just making being healthy a priority.
Arriving when you did in the trade, after the trade, what did you see out of this team and how it reacted in the time that you were here, and what everybody went through, and their injuries as well? A lot of adversity, but a lot of resilience, I'd say, just with the guys that obviously that were super close to Luka, and just obviously you could tell the impact he had not only on this team but the community, and just it was an adjustment, just coming in, and you feel for the guys obviously, because whenever you make it to a certain point, like I had the same experience in Miami, where you make a run like that, it's bigger than basketball. The connections that you make are personal, and and I have friendships to this day that whenever we separated, I felt it hurt, felt like a breakup, so those are tough things to deal with that that you really don't think about from the outside. So I completely understand, and I commend those guys of coming in and still working and knowing that's on their mind, and and having everybody involved in that. I understand that's not easy to still go out and perform at a high level for those guys. So I have the utmost respect for the guys in this locker room and how well and the guys, everybody included, that's handled that in a professional way, and still coming into work and trying to be their best version of themselves. So
those connections you meant, like with teammates on the team you made a deep run with. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was that.
Yeah, everybody, all the way down the line. So that whole entire team I got really close with. A run like that, you go through a lot of stuff. You go through a lot of highs and a lot of lows, and that definitely brings you together and creates a bond that you don't find often in this league, I feel like.
So what a championship organization is. In the short time you've been here, what is your viewpoint of the Mavericks in terms of being a championship organization?
I definitely think that we're more than capable of being one of the last teams standing, if not the last team. I think that we definitely have the personnel
I think that we have the guys with the right mindset. I think it's just being healthy and putting it all together are the two things. And the name of the game at this point of the year is who can stay the healthiest and who can stay together the most. You know, so I think that's a recipe of winning, and I think that we'll find that the more time that we spend together.
What can you say about Jason Kidd keeping the next man up mentality and obviously going through injury and being out off the court, just how to keep this team together, always fighting?
Yeah, I think in a way you never want to go through like a season like this. Like that's never the goal, but there are things that you can learn and carry over from a season like this, and understand things that work, understand that things that don't work, and also it kind of lights a fire, you know, under everybody with, you know, going into the summer. Understanding that it doesn't really matter how much talent or potential that you have, that you can lose to anybody any given night in this league. The league is hard. It's hard to win. You know, not only a championship, but it's hard to win a game. You know what I mean? And we're in a tough conference and with a lot of great players. You just got to come correct, and I think that'll be the mentality coming into summer, starting with getting healthy.
In your experience, what makes Jason unique as a head coach?
I just think you know, he's been there and done that, you know, at the highest level, and I think that he sees things not only as a coach now, but he can still see those things as a player, and the way that he can, you know, give us advice on how to navigate certain things on the court and how to look at the game in a different way. You know, he's just a super high IQ type of guy, and you know, we're really grateful to be able to still learn from someone like him with not only his IQ but his experience.
Was there a certain moment that really surprised or impressed you from him?
I think just the way he's been able to relate to the players, like, you know, I kind of already knew that, him being a former player, but like just kind of seeing up close and personal the way he's been able to, from top to bottom, whether you're a two-way or you're the star player, he's been able to have that relationship, and the amount of time he spends talking to everybody too. I think the time that he gives the guys that are on the team is that's rare. I feel like, you know, they do a lot of things up top. He's got to make a ton of decisions on, you know, with the game plan or whatever it is, all the way down the line, and having meetings with people up top, whatever it is, and especially in the midst of everything that happened when I first got here too. The way he's handled everything and still be able to create those relationships has been it's really cool to see.
What did the process look like on a daily basis to kind of manage the injury that you had mentioned, and just what are some things that you learned from that?
I just think it's just, you know, I mean, it's what we do daily. You just hammering the treatment, hammering the rehab, and just staying consistent with that. Especially a lot of time in the weight room with just strengthening your base and your core, just trying to make sure you just get solid as possible before you get back out here. And, like, they do a great job of, you know, of not letting the players put themselves in harm's way, even though they obviously advocate always guys to play, and you always want guys to be able to have the mentality to fight through injury, but, you know, it's to a degree where they understand that it could be harmful to yourself, and, you know, they try to avoid setbacks as much as possible. They're really good at navigating those things and trying to find a balance.
We'll do one last question.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
appreciate it.
Appreciate it.